Hello and welcome to the first ever edition of Starcraft 2 Best of the Best. I am your host, the vocal terrorist, Jesse Rain. And allow me to explain what this series is all about. This series is about taking a quick look at some of the best players in StarCraft 2 today. And what I'll be doing is having a look at their strategies in a specific matchup, in a specific game, and talking about why I think that strategy is one of the best strategies around as of today. This will be a weekly show, be very, very short, between 10 and 15 minutes. Every single week, uploaded to the Vapor Entertainment YouTube channel, so it should be fun. Today we are looking at TSL Pult's Terran vs Zerg in a match he had against Millennium Stefano. So we are going to ×8 this shit out of it. So as we see, Pult doing the usual things. What he's going to do here, he's going to 2-racks. Very nice placement, by the way. This is on Metalopolis. Very, very nice placement indeed of this barracks here. As you can see, he now moves up. I just want to talk quickly about the bunker placement here. He's going to drop another one. This bunker placement here allows you to stick Marines in this corner and stop Zerglings from doing more than attacking one at a time. Stefano, by the way, holding it off very, very well, destroying the SCV. But I mean, this is just the opening pressure to the build. This is what you do at the start. It forces Stefano to make lings rather than drones. And of course, you can just lift this barracks up to safety, and you've got the wall in, so the Zergling counter-attack should do nothing. Unfortunately for Pult, he was slow on the repair, and now he expands behind it. This is all very, very basic, very, very normal stuff. Any TVZ, you will see this. But here is where we start to see a differentiation. We now have 4 racks up and a factory joining it. So heavy, heavy bio. Now, what he does with this is where it gets so incredible. See that force of Marines there? They now advance across the map, and he's going to put on some heavy aggression. Now, there are a lot of links from Stefano there. He gets a good surround. He does have the Banelings out because he knows bio is coming because of the 2-racks. And this is where Pult's control really needs to come into play. Look at that. Focusing down those Banelings, getting into a tight group here. It does allow the surround, but less and less Zerglings can hit all the time. And he takes out a ton of links. And again, look at this production tab. Nothing but lings in production right now. No drones for Stefano. So Stefano's unit count remains at 35 drones to 44 SCVs. That is insane. That is a 2-base versus 2-base where the Terran has a huge advantage. Not just in SCVs, but of course with mules as well. Anyway, we're going to skip ahead because Stefano does some nice bailing hits here. Does get a lot of kills on those SCVs and follows it up with some heavy link pressure, so he is getting SCV kills, but Pult splitting is absolutely excellent. And this is the timing for Stefano to get this up. As we see, Stefano does now have the drone advantage. He is starting to expand because of it. But again, Pult is back on the heavy aggression, and if I can just slow it down here. Again, really good splitting, really good control. Loses a lot of Marines there though. But again, this is what I'm talking about in terms of this constant pressure that Pult continues to put on. He's taking down all this creep. Look at this creep slowly fall back. So again, that's energy from the Queens that could be used for lava injects on drones that are instead going to remake creep tumors that Pult is killing. And again, he still has all these units left. Stefano is not in a position to counterattack, and he's getting ahead all the time. We have a lair morphing now. So what Stefano wants to do at this point in the game is to expand and to tech up. He wants to get towards Infestor tech, to get towards Broodlords in the end. He's got this base up right now, but of course it is not safe because of this super aggressive style of Pult. Pult is simply not letting up. By the way, this is something you can see Marine King do a lot as well. Again, comes in for this engagement. Nice splitting on the Marines. Forces the Banelings to take very, very ineffective hits or uncost efficient hits, and again he just lifts up with the medevacs and goes because there's nothing right now to stop the medevacs. All he has is Queens that will not be leaving these bases whatsoever, so these medevacs can fly about with impunity. As we see back home, he's just continuing to get more and more units out. He's got the reacted starport, he's got still those 4 racks, and now he has siege tanks to help defend at home. And now this is going to be a problem for Stefano, because these banelings will now be incredibly ineffective if Polt reinforces these attacks with siege tanks that he sieges very cleverly. And of course, I've no doubt he will. We're going to skip ahead again to see exactly what happens as this push happens. Okay, so this push hits now, and what Polt is doing is elevatoring into the main. These siege tanks can hit up to this range so long as they have vision. These Marines stim forward, they attack the hatchery. Now watch what happens here. These units come in, and now they're in range of the siege tanks, and they start to die horrifically. All of those banelings going down. They got more hits than they should have. This is the vulnerability of this attack, by the way, guys. You can be attacked from the outside. You can be flanked and lose your siege tanks. But Polt, they're leaving enough Marines outside that is not a problem to him just yet. Elevating more Marines in now. And he's going to take down this macro hatch. Now look at this production time again. There was 52 links in production. That is a crazy amount of links, even with the upgrades he has. Currently at 1-1, heading towards 2-2, while it's only +1 coming for Polt. And again, he stims back into range of the siege tanks. He can lift up if need be. Of course, one tank dies, but Polt already has another one to take its place. And now those banelings again going down. This is what I'm talking about, this constant aggression. And I want to just pause the game here, guys, and look at this time so far. Okay, we're at 18:50 into the game. And what does Stefano have? Look at his units tab. He's got 52 drones to 46 SCVs and mules. He's got 22 Zerglings and 2 Banelings. He's got no Roach Warren. He's got no Infestation Pit. He's got no Spire. He has absolutely no tech outside of the Banelings. It's crazy. It's at 19 minutes in the game, and you've basically kept the Zerg player on hatchery tech. It's incredible. Now Polt just continues this pressure. He simply will not let up. Stefano is trying to expand again, trying to get the money, trying to get the production, because of course he lost that macro hatchery, to make enough units to bust through this contain. And now he's trying again with these links and banelings, but the banelings go past the Marines, they get confused there, they do end up taking down the Marines. One siege tank goes down, 2 siege tanks go down, but of course this siege tank is still alive, and there are constantly more and more units streaming in. Now if we go back to the base a second, this is what I really like to see. Whereabouts do you have it? Here we are, we have a factory building with a tech lab, so he's going to double his siege tank production. That is entirely what he's after. These Marines still doing damage. Again, just Lings and Banelings in production. Whereas Polt back at home can tech up all he wants in this game right now. So again, we're going to skip ahead a bit. As you can see, this pressure is absolutely constant. Stefano simply cannot break it. And look here, Polt is expanding to the center location, and there's nothing Stefano can do about it because he cannot leave here. If he leaves here with his units, this entire main base dies, and it's so important for a Zerg to keep his main base alive. There is absolutely no way for him to fight back against this. Now, as you see, he's counter-attacking here, taking down a ton of SCVs, but Polt deals with it really well, takes just a handful of Marines, and doesn't allow this contain to break, and because of that, Polt is going to continue to get ahead. He now has so many upgrades going at once. He's doing absolutely everything right in this situation. And now, once again, I'm just going to pause it. We're at 24:29, and in the units tab, we have nothing but Zerglings, Banelings, and Queens. 24.5 minutes into this game, and Stefano is still on nothing but hatchery tech, because all he can do is spend money on units to save his bases and try and expand. That's it. He cannot afford to tech up. He doesn't have the time because of this constant aggression by Polt. And every single time he wipes out an army, Polt has got something to replace it with, because he has so many bases up that are completely safe. It is incredible, incredible play by Polt. Again, Stefano tried to counter-attack over here. It didn't work. He now tries to bust, but again, not all the siege tanks die. And Polt, look at this from Polt now, moving into the third, taking down the Baneling nest there. Polt does lose his Marines, but he's still got siege tanks here. And as we see, this leads to Stefano with the very inventive GG. So there you have it in a nutshell. You have Polt with the constant aggression out of nothing more than 4 racks and a factory to begin with. Adding the medevacs later, adding ever more barracks, adding the factory, getting his upgrades, making everything much, much more cost efficient, while by 28:35 in the game, when Stefano finally gives up, he is still on nothing but hatchery tech. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why Polt is best of the best. Thank you very much for watching, and of course I will be back next week with episode number 2. I have been your host, the vocal terrorist, Jesse Rain, and of course you can find me every Tuesday to Friday on my own channel at www.youtube.com/VocterGaming. Thank you very much once again for watching, and I will see you all next week.